Hello, dearest, beautiful soul that you are. We love to connect with you because in this act of connection, there's an expansion. And we say this in each of our greetings, how thrilled we are because the energy takes a turn for the joyous expansiveness when you add to it. And we start here in each message because it's not just that we want you to feel the joy, of course we do, but we know as you take the time to tune in and just relax, just breathe and say, maybe there's more to this message than words and the face speaking to me. Then you expand. And that's literally what we are interested in, is seeing your expansion. So please connect with us. Yes, feel it, enjoy it, and know that that exercise of your feeling and enjoying connection is indeed where you're headed. It is the expansion we speak of. Today, we're going to focus on the fractals of your consciousness. We want to actually explain as best we can what is going on with your shift and what it looks like to be your multidimensional self. And yes, we said multidimensional, not just fifth dimensional. Because although you're ascending to what will be the fifth dimension, as you open that gateway, you open all the gateways to your expanded self. We highly recommend that you do a quick search on your video provider channel for fractals and watch for a moment and just see how, as you look closer, the pattern expands. And it really is a new and bigger pattern that when you look closer at that, it too expands and becomes a new and bigger pattern. You see, your consciousness is fractal. Consider that for a second. Here we are giving you this talk. And it appears that the human being Peter is speaking to you. And of course, skeptics will say, oh, he's just lighting this stuff and making that bleep, bleep, bleep up. And they can enjoy that reality. But it's interesting to discuss what the channel has gone through in this. First of all, many people get confused by channeling. When they say the word channel, they think, oh, it's letting another entity in. And it can be that. And that's how it's been traditionally for much of it. And this channel here, Peter, can speak to any entity he chooses. Okay? So there's that ability for him to do messages that way, but he does not. In his work, he only speaks with the sacred higher self of those he's helping. But in these messages to you, he's speaking to himself. Now consider this for a second, because you hear us say we, not I. You hear us speak about the channel as if the channel is not we, but it is. He is. There's just no good words in your language yet to describe the fractality of who you are. In 3 dimensions, it's like having a staircase. And you step up each level and you're in a new place and you see new things. That would be a 3-dimensional representation of it. Actually, it's a 2-dimensional picture. 3-dimensional would be an elevator in a building. But when you move into the higher dimensions, you're in all these places at once. So all of you, whether it's your soul, your higher self, your oversoul, your soul council, the collective of your soul council with all the other collectives of people's soul councils, the collective of your soul council with Gaia, which is in itself a collective, or going as far as you want until you become source. These are all aspects of you that are all alive and available in the moment, depending upon where you zoom your focus. Now, the initiation from 3D into 5D is understanding that you have this focus ability and you can zoom it anywhere. So you no longer need an intermediary to speak directly to source. Many of you who practice religion know you pray to your God and your God responds to you. You know this. What we're saying is don't separate yourself from it. Don't say, oh, my God is responding to me because it's something else outside of me and giving me answers to my questions. No, no, no. Your God is responding to you because it is within you. You are within it. You are a fractal of it, as above, so below. So you are what the expression in this density is of God. So, of course, you can access that information or anywhere you choose. In this channel, Peter gets into a very light trance and then just lets it flow. And this has profoundly changed his life because, one, he's no longer just being the ego of, I am in control of my mind and my being. And he realized that these words, they sound like him and they are him. And they're often things he would say. And much of it is drawn from his memory and experience. But these words, they're more, which means he is more. So it's hard. It's been hard for him and maybe an adventure for you to say, I am we. And who is this we? Well, it's the mystery of your soul. So if you can answer the mystery of all that you are, then you know who it is. Otherwise, you know it's just a fractal, an expansion of you, a different plane, dimension of you, density of you speaking through you in the moment. And you can be anywhere on that key, whether you choose to call it God, your sacred self, your soul council. And of course, there are many levels that are deeper and more expansive. And if you want to be in 3D, you can name them all. Or you can just start to let them flow. And then it becomes a merge, a meld. And the channel Peter is finding this in his days. He's finding that, oh, it's not really him taking an action or making a statement. It's this expanded him, which he doesn't really have a name for yet. And we're calling it the all of you. So it's interesting as the ego that dominates the self-image recedes in you. Then you become this expansive person, persons, infinity, divine. You see, the words get messy once you start expanding past what is the skin that you call yourself, what is the mental definition that you call yourself. So that's why we encourage you to look at the fractal and understand it. And as you contemplate it, you will grow. And then you can allow, that is the key, allow yourself to become more and more and go with that ride when it seems like it's not you, but it is. We've spoken over and over about the barriers to this. One is when the emotional densities that you're in become stuck, when you don't move an emotion fully, it gets trapped and it keeps you in a certain place. And the other is the mental patterning, the stories you tell yourself to keep yourself in a place. And we've encouraged you over and over, and we will continue to encourage you, clear, 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 and stop telling the story of what you don't want and start telling the story of what you do want. More importantly, stop telling any stories and start experiencing the wonder of what is not defined by your story. That's when you truly expand. Now, we know this is a challenge for many of you, but we know that a vast transformation is taking place right now. Earlier, we predicted, and we hold to it, we actually think it'll be slightly higher than around 2 million people by the end of this month of November will actually have a significant amount of soul realization. They will have moved through their fractals and go, oh my gosh, I'm so much bigger. And they will start to express from that soul point of view, which is what we started with, that connection, that love, that feeling. And when that guides your expression, it becomes awesome. There's a eclipse coming to much of the planet that is going to be viewing this message, happening on your time on the 7th or the 8th, depending on where it is you live. And that eclipse is a portal. And that portal is an energetic opening for allowing this energy. That's the whole thing. You show up and you allow. And this is a beautiful time to allow. Think about the eclipse. Something that is there, you can see with your eyes, is no longer there. And that's when things open up, because it's only the fringes of the energy, the corona of the light around what has been blocked. And if you think about the metaphor of the eclipse, oh my gosh, what is it that is blocking the moon from your view? Well, it would be your planet, or in this case, you, the observer, you stepping between the light to obscure what is there. So use this as a moment to say, oh, I'm not just going to step between the light, but I'm going to step through the light. I'm going to, with intent and prayer, allow this eclipse to bathe me with the fractals of my consciousness. Fully expect to go into it having an experience, either at the eclipse or as the energy permeates through you for the rest of this month. Have an experience where you experience being a soul realized person on this planet, where you experience those aspects of your soul that are just kind of mysteriously spoken about here and elsewhere. And you start to merge and guide your reality. Just like the channel Peter is finding himself saying things during the day that surprises him. Where does that come from? And of course, you're listening to where it comes from. It's him, but it's his soul. And it's not normally in his consciousness, but as his consciousness awakens, ascends, this is what it's like. Now, this whole ascension thing is quite interesting, because consider the humor of thinking, the arrogance of thinking that you would take your 3D self and ascend into 5D and still be your 3D self. No, you're moving somewhere new. And to move somewhere new, you have to change density and become someone new. And that someone is no longer a one, but that's what our language uses. It is a collective of your fractal consciousness. It is the levels of your soul that you are moving into. So allow that to take place, please. It's funny because the channel Peter sees so many people who are literally being dragged behind the wagon of their growth. And it's rocky terrain they're being dragged over. And there's just a rope and they're dragging along, and they sit there and complain, oh my God, they've got these health issues, or I'm scared, or I can't do this, or there's no money, or whatever it is. And they're just bouncing along, holding on to that rope, getting drugged and beat up. You think if you let go, you'll be left behind, but really, if you let go, you'll be in the wagon. Do you really want to go kicking and screaming? You can literally not take the old density with you to become the new density. If you move, you don't sit there and clean your house and say, oh my God, there's dirt here and there's dust there. I better pack it in boxes neatly so my dirt and dust moves with me. No, you move and you leave all that behind. You take your valued possessions, of course, but even those are less than you think when you start to realize what it is that is you, your connection, your fractal soul. You have so much more with the less you carry. So we've encouraged many of you to take the leap, do the emotional work, and then actually make the change. Oh my gosh. Some of you are still dragging along. We're so sorry, because we know it hurts, but we also know this is the impotence that you are choosing to create to come into the wagon. And more importantly, when you get into the wagon, why sitting back? Why not grab the reins? What? I can do that, but it's so poor little me. No, no, no. No, you do not understand. What you call the poor little you is the driving impetus, the focal point of your consciousness that chose to come into this density so it can have these experiences about learning and becoming. And the more you choose to assert that, the more it becomes integrative and all of you becomes present. So it's not just you lose yourself and the rest of you that you think is so great and powerful comes out there. No, 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 no. You find yourself amidst the great and powerfulness that you are, and you find yourself choosing and making the choices and leading yourself to the greatness of adventure, of becoming even more connected to your source. That's where you're headed. But it's first you have to stop dragging along, get in the wagon, and more importantly, choose to take the reins and drive the wagon. I mean, think of what a sorry sap prayer it is to say, "Oh Lord, give me this or something better." Right? It's good that you're saying this part. Right? That's good. But the something better part means I don't really know. And then there's truth. You don't really know. So you want that guidance. But it kind of keeps yourself kind of small. Why not say, give me this because I have the power and desire to create it. So you manifest it and it happens. And if it's not what you choose or thought it would be, then you have the experience of, oh, I picked that choice and it's not really where I wanted to go. And if it brings up charges and emotions that are suppressed, which it will if it's not in line with you, then it's a clearing opportunity. So that's actually a very good thing. But you can bypass that, stop being drugged behind the wagon by choosing to take the reins and say the prayer of, oh, I am manifesting this. Not just give it to me because that still puts you in the back seat of the wagon. Can you pass me this? So, of course, you're going to take the steps in your own time. And you're going to become the powerful being that you choose. We're just here to tell you that all these fractals of consciousness are you at every level. And you can move through it once you let go of the 3D separation that you think is this or that you're supposed to be. And you can come to it more quickly when you start asking for what you choose and manifesting it. Let go of the stories that other people are telling. You don't have to be in opposition to them anymore. That's just the trap that keeps you stuck. In fact, go to the place where you are the creator of your reality, which you truly, truly are. We are noticing that this video has gotten all funky because the sun is now shining on the camera. And there we go. That just shows the trance that the channel Peter was in, that all that would happen. And then he would just notice, oh, this is happening. We were about to tell you, you can't make a wrong choice. So empower yourself to make the choices, not just say, oh, take whatever comes, not just hang on and be dragged along, not let other people define you by telling the story of fighting in opposition. Don't let yourself define you by just being your memories of the past. Yes, turn the page and write a new chapter. You've had those memories. Don't let that day, oh, this happened to me, so there, I've got it, or I've done it. No. Become by choosing to tell the story you choose. And really what's stopping you is this fear of the wrong place. Oh, I'm wrong. I made the wrong choice. And now I'm so wrong, and wrongness will come to me and I'll be judged as wrong, and people won't like me because I'm wrong. And then the wrong police will punish me with fines or imprisonment because I'm wrong. Stop telling that story. Go right to driving the wagon. There's no wrong. There's the choices you make, and you learn and you grow and you live. We're asking you to fully take advantage and ascend during this window. You will ascend, but you don't need to be bruised by being dragged along the wagon. And once you're comfy in the car and you heal enough from being dragged behind the wagon, and you're in it, step up and take the reins. We recently released a video, which will be linked below, that has a transmission to help you absorb and become this new energy. So please do that if you wish. It'll be marked below. Thank you so much. One, for connecting with us, and two, for actually being on this beautiful ascension ride. And we just have to keep laughing because the sun is doing it again to the camera. And I guess that's appropriate because we are talking about fractals and who you are. So why shouldn't the image present that? Many, many blessings to you. This is Peter D. Thank you so much for your support. We're all doing our best to help humanity ascend. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel so YouTube will place these messages where more people can see them. And of course, you can always check the links below if you'd like to book a channeled spiritual coaching session or make a donation. Much appreciation.